They said getting started was the hardest part, but no one told you how hard it is to scale a custom service business. It's time for your team to step up, but your clients want you. Discover how to scale to 7 figures and beyond by freeing up time and getting your team to run whole parts of the company so you can focus on scaling profits. This is the Hands Off CEO with Mandy Ellefson.
12 years ago, I started my first company. I was so excited to start something new, to learn new skills, and to really fulfill the vision of becoming a successful business owner that I'd always seen myself becoming a business owner when I was a child. But it was during this financial crisis, and I had friends and family all around me who were just bathing in this imminent doom and gloom of the situation. And I knew people who had lost most of their retirement and their wealth. And, my parents were gifting my husband and I these emergency preparedness gear and preparing for this impending financial collapse, right? I'd visit my in-laws' house. The TV cycled this endless stream of everything that was wrong in the world, the news. It was very discouraging. And I wondered if it was even worth all the effort. And, doubt was creeping in. Was our country about to collapse? Would I even have any clients to serve? Would anyone have the money to buy what I'm selling? So as I listened to this podcast about selling, the host said the best thing that you can do to become better at sales is to turn off the news, to really turn off all of those outside influences that were giving me these beliefs that weren't supporting my vision. And that's what I did. And that advice has stuck with me for all of these years. And I really have created success through uncertain times by blocking out all of this noise and surrounding myself with a peer group and mentors who believed in abundance, who believe in entrepreneurs being the answer to elevating humanity, and who really create from this place of certainty and faith rather than doubt and fear. And this is what has gotten our tribe through 2020 and why they're so successful. In fact, we have been bringing on some of our tribe members to share their stories and case studies of how they've become a hands-off CEO, how they have created some of the best abundance they ever have in their business during this time when so many others are really struggling. One tribe member went from losing several clients in a matter of weeks to selling well past their capacity and having to turn off their marketing. Another lost well over half of their business, losing money each month for a couple of quarters, and really has come back strong with this avalanche of new business. And this fourth quarter was almost a record high. He said it was either matched their highest quarter ever in the past or has exceeded it. His name is Jamie, and we have his podcast episode coming up if you haven't already listened to it. But they were able to begin 2021 in a better cash position than they started 2020. And that's saying a lot because there were some significant changes to their business that happened before 2020 that have really had them in a good, solid financial position. And even with a couple really difficult quarters, they've been able to come out on top. And another one who started off right as at the signs of this market disruption early last year, they almost didn't sign up because they started to hear from clients that they might be canceling or postponing projects. But they really focused on their vision of what they wanted to create and trusted that we had the system and the expertise and the ability to support them. So they added well over $1 million in their first year together. This is during a pandemic, and they've actually found ways to be even more profitable and more scalable in their business. Now, how are they doing this? How they're showing up. It's how they're showing up, their mindset of really creating expansion when other people are contracting. And why our clients create success so much faster than even I was able to create in my business in the earlier years is that their mindset and certainty is so much stronger. And if you listen to these case studies here on our podcast, you'll see what I mean. They've invested ahead in their team and in mentorship and in the systems to really create the growth from a more elevated plane. They know right from the beginning that I'm creating a multi-million-dollar company, and maybe even $1 billion company. They know what they are creating and they make decisions from that vision. So I want to share with you the 5 growth accelerators that you can use to create $1 million business in a quarter of the time. And these are things that I've specifically learned from my experiences as well as working with our clients. But this is how the growth and development has happened over the years. So the first one is bro versus flow. Earlier on in my growth of my businesses, I was following this prevailing bro guru advice. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention any names, but it's all about force, growth, making it happen. Got to sell, sell, sell. And it's like, sure, it's exciting, but it's grinding. It's exhausting. And the trade-off is that it hurts your family. And here's the thing is that I tried to follow this advice, this tried and true trusted advice, because, I always want to follow a system that's already working. And then that was my mindset around it, right? So I needed to follow this because there's all these examples of how it worked. But the problem was it did not jive with my values. And so one of my clients, Wally, jokingly talks about like the bro gurus versus the flow guru. And he calls me the flow guru. So I'll take the title. It's kind of fun, but really following your own flow guru and looking for alignment, which is number 2, is this opportunity to get into alignment with, what are you really here to do? Why? What is your business serving? What is the bigger vision, the bigger goal of what you're creating and why? Now, that's one of the things that when we're bringing on case studies, our clients to share their case studies on the podcast, really listen into that, really listen to that passion, listen into how they're serving the world. Each one of them have a bigger vision for what they're creating, which is how they're attracting in all these really wonderful people into their business, as far as their team, their employees, partners, and of course, clients. Through their alignment, through the expansion of really a much bigger purpose, that's what's driving the growth, right? More money comes as a natural consequence of delivering more value to the world. So it comes from expanding the vision in each area of your company so that everything is just this win-win-win. And that is how it expands. And a natural consequence of that is more wealth for you. And the third piece of this is letting go of the need to have it first. Here's the thing is that when we have a need of something, it actually means that there's a lack. The need of anything is a contraction. Let me share with you what I mean by that. I need to have more money to hire this operations manager. Once I have this next couple of clients, then we can do that. I need this money to invest in this program. Once we have this, then we'll be okay. Then we'll be okay, right? I need this. I heard this back earlier this last year. I need the PPP check. And if I have that, then I'll be okay, right? It's basing you being okay based on whether this outside circumstance is actually showing up for you or not. And we actually can't control our outside circumstances, but what we can control is how we show up. And just most have to start with already having something in place in order for them to feel ready. In order for them to let go of that need. That's why what you'll see is a lot of CEOs, once they get to a point where their financial needs are met and the money is not really as much of a problem for them, being able to continue to invest ahead of their growth is easier because like the minimum has been met. Now, here's the thing is the reason why they have stepped into feeling like they have enough. Now they can invest. But the thing is you don't have to do it that way. You can start with wherever you are right now and choose to feel ready. And knowing what I do now, I know I could have skipped years ahead just by choosing certainty rather than doubt. This thought of, well, there's just not enough yet. There's just not enough yet. When there is, I'll be able to do that. It's just choosing to feel ready right now. Now, number 4 goes right into this. So how you feel is critically important. The bro gurus will tell you that just ignore that. Those feelings are not important. You got a little stomach ache there. Just keep on pushing forward. But the reality is that how you feel is actually really good feedback. And if you're pushing forward and it doesn't feel good, that's feedback that something is out of alignment, right? And alignment is really where true growth can happen on a whole other level in a way where it requires less and less of you. But without alignment, that won't work. Without alignment, you have to force it. So how you feel is critically important. And I didn't really understand how important this was before. So what you have is dependent on what you are doing. And what you are doing is dependent on how you're being. So this is something that I learned some years back from Landmark Worldwide, from the Landmark Forum, and really some great education there that I learned. One thing I will say about their approach is it's still a little bit forcing. So it was such great foundational transformation, but I still feel like it's a little bit forced now that I have looking back on it, but it's still the foundation. So I will definitely recommend the Landmark Forum to anyone who has the opportunity to take it. Most of my family have done it, and I think that it's great. But, the be, do, have. So how you're being changes the actions that you're taking, right? And the actions that you're taking directly impact what you have. But how you're being it's actually impacted by your thoughts and your feelings. So you being able to shift that, you will be able to shift into a more powerful life. You don't have to force, but focus on feeling good, and you'll more easily be able to shift those around you, and while shifting your business into hyperspeed. So really how you are feeling, how you are showing up as a leader in your entire life will change other people around you. Think about someone in your life, maybe a past teacher, a past mentor, maybe a family member who had such an impact on you. Just how they were being as a person made you want to be a better person. So that is the impact that we can have on others by how we are being. And what I did know is that I was the biggest thing stopping my business. I knew I was the bottleneck, but what I didn't know is that I didn't need to beat myself into submission, or I didn't need to fix me. I spent really my entire life trying to fix myself. And what I discovered is that there wasn't anything to really fix. It was just about getting my actions into an alignment with the vision for my life, the vision for my business. And the opportunity is I get to continually choose habits that are aligned with my vision. But the great news is that it's not very hard to actually follow through on those habits when it actually feels aligned. It's just a natural expression of feeling aligned. The habits are just a natural consequence, and it just flows from there. And that's how you get into flow. Whenever something is challenging, you can look at this and say, how can I get into flow on this? How can this be easy? How could I make this fun? The fifth thing is self-care. So coming out of feeling good, one of the best things that you could do to feel good is like taking care of yourself, right? It seems obvious, but it's actually one of the things that CEOs have some of the biggest challenge with. And I would encourage you to think about, what do you need to do on a regular basis to be at your best? For me, I need to take care of family relationships, and I really need to put them first and make time for them. Some people choose to have regular massages. Some people choose to hire support around their home, or for housekeeping or running errands, or whatever those things that you could do to really add more ease and flow to your home. What is your spiritual rhythm? Do you pray, study spiritual texts? Do you journal? Do you meditate? What is part of that spiritual foundation that allows you to be a very best version of yourself? So again, this is not about fixing yourself or forcing a performance, but about doing the things that feel aligned with your vision from a place of who you are becoming, rather than there being some deficiency. It's really about an opportunity to identify a new timeline that you want to step into, and then just start becoming that person who is on that timeline. And then what happens is that you have quantum level growth because you were aligned with that new timeline. And what it allows is for you to really attract in all the resources that you need right when you need them. I'm using the word need, and I already told you not to. I already mentioned how the need of anything is a contraction. So I recognize my hypocrisy in saying that. But really, when you are aligned with your vision, when you really step into this new level, then there really isn't a need, because it's just you taking the next inspired action, and all those things just show up. And it's a direct outcome of you taking actions that are aligned with where you want to go. And that includes attracting in the right employees. It includes attracting the right clients that are a perfect fit. And it really allows you to expand your business and to expand your wealth, expand your ability for impact for your community, for your family, and really ultimately the world. And that's what it is to be a hands-off CEO. So the 5 things again, the 5 growth accelerators that you can use to create $1 million business in a quarter of the time is to focus on the flow instead of the bro. Alignment. So alignment, getting clear on what your bigger vision is and being aligned with that. Letting go of the need of having something else first, having conditions in place in order for you to be able to move forward on your vision. You can have it now. You can really choose to create it right now, even if conditions aren't perfect. And that's so important to be thinking about right now too, because the conditions are not perfect, right? But how do you be able to shift what you're doing so that the conditions actually can be to your advantage? I've seen that a number of times throughout this last year, and you really can do that as well. And the fourth thing is how you feel is critically important. So really focusing on feeling good and growing your business from a place of feeling good so that you can have that balance, but at the same time is creating that abundance. And the fifth thing is self-care, really taking care of yourself so that you have the space for the vision, the space for leading and directing your team. If you are stuck in the doing roles of your business, if you are running yourself ragged, you do not have the mental capacity to create at the level that you're really capable of. And right now, we are at a place in history where our leadership is needed more than ever before, where we are being called to do our very best work to elevate humanity. Now, in accepting that call, we can do so in a way that really elevates a lot of other people. It creates amazing jobs that serves your clients in the highest way possible. And you can do that in a way where it's going to create wealth and abundance for you as well. And for you to be able to give back in ways that you didn't even think were possible. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling called to really step into that next level of growth for yourself, I'd like to make an invitation for you to join one of our executive briefings. We do a weekly executive briefing on Wednesday at 1:00 Mountain Time. And during this briefing, you can actually get my support. We're doing this in a really small group environment where you can get my support. And currently right now, as of this recording, it is offered at no cost. But this is an opportunity for you to see the whole plan, the whole system, the 5-step Scale to Freedom framework for how to grow and scale your business in a way that it actually requires less of you. This kind of business growth is it's so empowering, gives you so much freedom, and it creates so much abundance for you, your team, and your clients. If you would like to come and be part of this executive briefing, you can enroll at handsoffceo.com/RSVP. That's handsoffceo.com/RSVP. Thank you so much for listening in. This is Mandy Ellison, the host of the Hands Off CEO podcast, signing off.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Hands Off CEO with Mandy Ellison. If you want to work less and make more, make sure you subscribe and get a new episode every week, and help spread the word by leaving a review.